कया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिय। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। बोलिए वैष्णव ठाकुर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। So today we are discussing from chapter 9 verse 19. So I hope everyone is seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mataji. So now we can start reciting this. Tapamyha maham varasam
Tapamyaham maham varsham
निगृह्णाम्युत्सृजामि च
nigrahnamyasrajami cha
अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च
amritam chaiva mrityuscha
सद असद सद असद च अहम् अर्जुन.
sad asachaham arjuna.
Now anyone else who wants to recite, they can recite.
Tapamyaham aham varsham
Tapamyaham aham varsham
nigranamyasrajami cha
निगृह्णामि
cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha
अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च
sad asachaham arjuna.
सद असच्चाहम् अर्जुन.
तपामे aham varsham
Tapamyaham aham varsham
nigraname usrajanami cha
nigranamyasrajami cha
amratam chaiva nimrityuscha
amritam chaiva mrityuscha
shad ashachaham arjuna
sad asachaham arjuna.
Tapamyaham aham varsham
tapame
aham
varsham
nigranamyutsrajamya cha
nigranamyasrajami cha
amritam chaiva mrityuscha
amritam chaiva mrityuscha
tadasachaham arjuna.
tad asachaham arjuna.
Now, anyone else? Now we will move forward. We will read synonyms. Tapami, give heat.
Tapami, give
give
heat.
heat.
Aham, I.
Aham, I.
Aham, I.
Aham,
Aham,
I.
Varsam, rain.
Varsham,
Varsham,
rain.
rain.
Nigrahanami, withhold.
Nigranami,
Nigranami,
withhold.
withhold.
Utsrajami, send forth.
Utstrajami,
Ustrajami, send
send
forth.
forth.
Cha, and.
Cha,
Cha,
and.
and.
Amritam, immortality.
Amritam,
Amritam,
immortality.
immortality.
Cha, and.
Cha,
Cha,
and.
and.
Eva, certainly.
Eva,
Eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Mrityu, death.
Mrityu,
Mrityu,
death.
death.
Cha, and.
Cha,
Cha,
and.
and.
Sat, sat, spirit.
Sat,
Sat,
spirit.
spirit.
Asat, matter.
Asat,
Asat,
matter.
matter.
Cha, and.
Cha,
Cha,
and.
and.
Aham, I.
Aham, I.
Arjuna. O Arjuna.
Arjuna. Oh.
Arjuna, or Arjuna.
Now I'll read translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. So you can see our Supreme Father Krishna is saying to Arjuna that he gives heat and he gives rain. And he is immortality, he is death personified. And he is both spirit and matter. So you can see he is everything. Wow. This is very clear. So now we will try to understand this statement provided by our Supreme Father that, O Arjun, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Now let's see how Prabhupada is helping us understand this statement. So Krishna said that Krishna, by his different energies, diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. So you see, Prabhupada is using here the modern term electricity also, because Krishna is there. Without matter, the electricity will not work. So by his different energies, Krishna diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. And at various places, we discuss from time to time from Bhagavatam that Bhagavanji said that sun is burning out of my order. So I give order to sun to burn and give energy to this material world, this universe. That's how he does. One place he says, sun and moon and air, they are doing their duty under my supervisory, under my they fear from me, something like that. During the summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky. So that's how all the weather functions. So Krishna checks the rain from falling from the sky, and then during the rainy season, he gives he gives unceasing torrent rain. So they never stop. Sometimes it rains all day, all night. So that's what the arrangement by different energies, different managers of this cosmic manifestation. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna. Krishna says that I am the life in living being in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna meets us at the end of death. At the end of this life, when we are dying, if we are lucky, we are going to meet Krishna. If we are unlucky, then we are going to die. Both way, Krishna says, Mrityu sarva harasyam. At the time of death, I take away everything. So whatever we do in this life, our Supreme Father is going to take it away, because everything belongs to him. So he gave us to live this life, and at the end of this life, he's gonna take it away, everything. So Krishna meets us at the end of that. By analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit, because he is the creator of everything. That's why we see in Krishna Leela, what do we see? Krishna is holding Govardhan on his, that little finger. It's not possible for any of us to hold a significant amount of weight on our little finger for some time. But Krishna holds that for whole Govardhan hill for 7 days, 7 nights. And people try to help him that, oh, let me put some stick under it. But that was just joke. So it's not possible without spiritual energy, and also it's not possible with the help of body that is made of flesh and bones. So that shows that Krishna's body is spiritual, Satchidananda. I think in Vedas it says, somewhere, I think from Bhagavatam, I don't remember where this verse from, that Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvutpatyadhyetave Tapatraya Vinasaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namah. It says Satchidananda Rupaya. His form and the makeup of his body is Satchidananda. Is made of Satya, Chinmaya, and then Ananda. Satya, we just read, is spirit, and Chinmaya is full of knowledge, and he is Ananda. He is made of Ananda. So Bhagavan Ji, our Supreme Father, is made of truth, knowledge, and bliss. So he has 3 things. He is made of 3 things: truth, knowledge, and bliss. If we want to bliss, we have to go to him. We have to work under his supremacy. That's how we can get bliss, because he has the bliss. We don't see bliss anywhere. We don't see truthfulness anywhere. We don't see knowledge everywhere. We work for a man who has money to get some money. So therefore, if we want bliss, if we want happiness, we have to work for Krishna, because he has bliss. Nobody has bliss, but he has bliss. He is made of bliss. He is made of Ananda. He is made of happiness. It's not matter, it's a spirit. So that's why he created a spirit. That's why it is mentioned, Prabhupada is saying here, that for Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter or spirit. Or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. So he created matter. It's all described in Bhagavad Mahapurana. If we read it carefully, it's very scientific description. And if someone wants to prove it, they can also prove it if we have some tools available in future. Like what is the succession of creation of matter? Like we in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that 7th chapter, Bhumi apo analo vayu khangmano buddhirev cha ahankaram itiyam te bhinna prakriti rastada. Let me pull up the verse from the book. Anyone who has the book in front of them, they can see the verse. It's verse 7. Verse from chapter 7, verse number 4. Bhumi apo anulo vayu khangmano buddhirev cha ahankaram iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. Our Supreme Father Krishna says that earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, altogether these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So our Supreme Father has these 7 separated energy. What he says, Bhumi means earth, and then he says water. Everyone knows water. Then fire, and then air, and then ether. Ether means sky, empty space. We are also made of ether. And then he doesn't stop there, only 5, like earth, water, air, fire, and sky. He doesn't stop at 5. He keeps counting. Then he said 3 more, mind, intelligence, and false ego. There are 8. So you see, mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are also matter. Here our Supreme Father says that these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So we can see our mind, our intelligence, and our false ego. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's property. So you can see everything was created by Krishna, and here Prabhupada made it very clear that for him there is no distinction between spirit and matter, because he is the creator of matter. So he creates in that order. If we read Bhagavatam, earth, water, fire, air, and sky. So earth comes at the end. Earth has all the qualities of sky, also air, fire, and water. So air, fire, water, and sky, and earth. So earth has all the properties, whereas you see in Bhagavatam what is the sequence of creation, and it's very scientific. We can someone can prove it if they have some tools in future. So now here we see, and Bhagavad Gita proves that he is the creator of all that, and we are made of, it's very interesting, we are made of all that matter, all that 8 separated energies, and then our soul. So we are made of earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are everything are in our body. So there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. So Krishna is both matter and spirit. He says his energies. The matter is his energy, and he give account for that. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinctions. He sees only Krishna in everything. Wow. And that's what Prabhupada shows by his example, that he never made any distinction between this one and that one. He used everything for Krishna. As we also see as we also see, Prabhupada used everything for Krishna, because everything belongs to Krishna. That's called Yukta Vairagya. Our Acharya says that that if we want to renounce, like we have been taught in school, dharma, artha, kam, moksha, and there are 4 varna and asrama, varnashram system to achieve that. We do dharma to get our desires fulfilled, dharma, and then we earn artha, we earn money by dharma, and then we get kama, then we get our desires fulfilled, dharma, artha, kama. So first we do dharma, then we get money, then we get fulfilled our desire, and then what we have to do, we have to work for moksha, to get liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from the 4 problems of this material world. Krishna says, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosanudarsaram. Bhagavad Gita. So, chapter 13, when Arjuna asks what is knowledge, Krishna says this is knowledge, that we have to see Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Budhapa, the old age, and Vyadhi, disease. These are 4 dukkha. So seeing that, accepting this statement is knowledge and everything is ignorance. Krishna gives list from verse number 8 to 13, chapter 13, 8 to 12. And he says everything which is not listed here is ignorance. It's not knowledge. So in that way, we can understand in the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinctions. He sees only Krishna in everything. So that's why our Acharya prepared a summary for us, like Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami and other Goswamis, and they gave definition of the sannyasa, or like renunciation. So in the 4th stage, to get moksha, we have to work hard. Like we have 4 varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Krishna says in chapter 4 that I created 4 varnas based on nature and duty they perform. We perform. Humans perform. Based on so Chatur Varnim Maya Srishta Guna Karma Vibhagasa. Krishna says, based on guna and karma, I created 4 varnas. And then he created 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, and then Vanaprastha ashrama, and then Sannyasa ashrama. So in the first ashrama, the Brahmacharya ashram, we need to be brahmachari. We should be learning from our guru in the Gurukul, and then that's from start to until 25 years of age, and then we have permission to get into Grihasthashram. We have to get married, we have to earn money to fulfill our desire in the Grihasthashram, to support the leaders of the society like sadhus and temples. And then from 50 to 75 years, we have to be Vanaprasthi. We have to start traveling in holy places and preparing for taking sannyas, or the renunciate form. And the 4th stage is sannyasi, becoming sannyasi. But in Kali Yuga, it is prohibited, because the situations is not favorable. So people can't go in the forest. So in Kali Yuga, it is prohibited. But our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition shows that and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took sannyas, just to show that we have to that it was established by himself, and he is showing that that's the way the Vedic civilization is established by Krishna himself. So since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the gigantic universal form comprising all material manifestations is also Krishna. We see this in Bhagavad Mahapurana. His pastimes in Vrindavan and 200 Samasundara, as 200 Samasundara, he is playing as a 200 Samsundar form in Vrindavan, playing on flute, are those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's his real form. Prabhupada emphasizes at several places, and he proves that the 200 Shamsundar form is the original form of our Supreme Father, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I think it's very clear with the help of Prabhupada's purport that whatever Krishna says here, that, "O Arjuna, I give heat and I send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me." So to keep up the rules of this universe, he comes as a death to devotee. Otherwise, he doesn't go to non-devotee. Non-devotees were collected by Jamraj. So are there any questions or comments? Because I think we have enough time, and I can try reading another verse, because this has also
Hare,
a small purport. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful explanation about this verse. I have just a question.
Yes,
As you
Mataji.
explained that all four ashramas, 25 years of each.
Yes.
So by the time we are 50, there is no guarantee that, we will live longer.
Yes, Mataji.
So
Yes.
we know that life is very short now in Kali
Yeah.
Yuga.
Yeah.
So how we can stay like knowingly that, the life is short, but we have to, renounce same time.
Yeah.
How we can become detached in short span of life, because by the time you get out of the college, you don't know about
Yeah.
spiritual life or anything for that matter. And
Yes.
then we start becoming busy with our life to, get married, get settled. And by the
Yep.
time you settle, already diseases are coming.
Yes.
Something is happening, and then, some calamities will fall upon us. And then,
Yes.
that the Lord comes as a death and he takes us.
Yes.
So
Yes, Mataji.
how we can be more Krishna conscious, seeing in present situation, like we see COVID is like a new issue, but we already had so many other things, but life is going on.
Yeah.
But still we don't realize that life is short. So how can we understand this and take up seriously, Prabhuji? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, Mataji, we don't listen and we are in illusion, some kind of illusion. Everyone, including myself. We don't hear what Prahlad Maharaj says. Prahlad Maharaj said exactly what you are saying, that, in Kali Yuga, we really don't have 100 years. He says, Kaumara acharet pragya dharman bhagavataniya durlabham manusam janma tadapi adhruvam arthadam. He says, adhruvam. It's temporary. Any time we can go. And then, but he says, it's arthadam. It's meaningful. We can become Krishna conscious, and then we can go back to Godhead. We can go back to our real home. Krishna says, our Father says that in Bhagavad Gita, he said that that there is no need of sun and moon there, and whoever comes there, they don't have to come again to this material world. That verse.
Janma karma chame divyam.
No, Mataji, that he's advertising that
Oh,
come to spiritual world.
Suryo na Shashanko.
That,
That
yeah. Na
Brahma
tadbhasayate surjo na sasanko na pavaka jadgatva na nivartante tadham paramamama. So that's like he's saying, hey, sail, come to spiritual world. But we are not hearing. We are busy in doing some service, some green card, some America visit, and some earning. That's all. We are not hearing advice of Prahlad Maharaj, who is only 5 years old. He said that this Bhagavad Dharma one has to practice from the very beginning, from Kaumar Acharya, from Kaumar Avastha. Kaumar Avastha means when we complete 5 years of age, then our Kaumar Avastha starts. So before we are 5, we need to be Krishna's devotee. So we don't listen. That's why we are in illusion. And once we start at that age, then we are all set. But once we pass that age, it's very hard to understand that. So I think, Mataji, that's the key. We don't listen to our Supreme Father. We don't listen to our gurus and sannyasis. I mean, they are giving message. They have taken sannyas. They don't have bank account in their name, most of them. Even if they have it for Krishna. And they don't deal with all that money and all that. Even if they are managers of the temples, they don't take any penny from them, from that account. So I think they are showing by example, but we are not seeing that. Once we start seeing, then we are all set. But we are in illusion, and one day death will come and grab us. It's all explained in detail in Bhagavatam. So Bhagavad Gita is synopsis, but the Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita is synopsis because it was spoken in the war, in an emergency, but we see explanation of each and every verse in Bhagavad Mahapurana. And that's also explanation of Vedanta. So we can see how this all Krishna Leela has multiple faces. So it's not only Bhagavad Gita, it's Krishna Leela also, it's Vedanta also. So everything is there, all the knowledge is there. All we have to do is we have to work hard to understand this, to practice this. Otherwise, it is not going to happen.
Yes, Prabhuji, what you said is absolutely true, because we all know it in theory, at least most of us,
Yes,
we hear it all the time. We know it in
yes,
theory,
Mataji.
but
Yes,
to do it
Mataji.
in practice is very, very hard.
Very,
To
very hard.
practice
Yes.
all the things that we know
Yeah.
is very difficult at every step.
Yeah. If we get from some devotee, then it's supportive that, hey, if someone is doing, let's do it. Like I went to India and to be with my mother, but then I had to come back. Oh, I'm teaching there. I'm doing some job there, so I have to go back again, So, but if we see some example, I met few people in Vrindavan, they are living there. They're saying, oh, it's tapasya, but that's the reality. They are doing their best. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized that we have to be in the association of devotee. Then we are able to understand. Otherwise, it's very hard. When we are in the material world, we have so many responsibility. We do this, we do that, and we think that, oh, we are responsible for this. But really we don't. We are not responsible for anything. Nothing works under our supervision. Everything works under Krishna's supervision. Krishna said that I am the commander of this material world. So in Bhagavad Gita, that this Prakriti, this nature works under my supervision. I am the commander. So we don't understand that. But when we start this, all this before age of 5, then we can understand everything. But we took a wrong turn, wrong exit, and we are still not on the right highway. So once we hear all the Shastra, all the devotee, we start to see how all these great personalities like Prabhupada did in his life, then we can understand. Anything else, Mataji or Prabhuji?
I think we have a faulty education system, right, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Because
Mataji.
we are
Yes,
at the
correct.
age of
Yes.
5.
Yeah.
Only I see devotee kids, those who are homeschooled, they are
Yeah.
getting this knowledge, not
Yes.
other kids. Like, so there are millions of kids who
Yeah.
don't have this knowledge.
Yeah.
So very
Even
fortunate to be connected with the
yeah.
Prabhupada, or
Even
any
that
other.
is not supported by the government. If government
Yeah.
support, government should give like 90. Okay, I will give 90% to this system, but now I will give 10% to this system. But they are denying everything. That's not good. Whether government here or there, if any system of education is there, they should try to preserve it. But that's not we are doing. We should raise our voice here that this is the our Vedic system. Why don't we have like one school in each state, right? So we are not doing that. That's why government, nobody is taking care of that, because we think, oh, we are fine, we have to become engineer, we have to become doctor. But even doctors are getting failed in some areas. Like for example, Corona, COVID-19 situations. Some of our Ayurvedic medicines are working, our precautions are working. In Ayurveda, it is mentioned that we have to do this, we don't have to do this. But when you go to allopathic doctor, he says, oh, whatever you want, you can do it. No problem. You eat and you drink 2 glasses of water, no problem. But that's not true. We can practice on our body in our day-to-day activity, but that when we eat and we drink 2 glasses of water, it is going to interfere with the process of digestion, because all the food, the gastric juice is going to mix up. But when we drink 2 glasses of water, the gastric juice is going to be diluted. So it's not going to be as effective as it is if we don't drink too much water. So it is mentioned in Ayurveda, there are several diseases happening due to this, that we are not following proper guidance that is given in Vedas. That's called, Vedas are like manuals, but we don't obey that. So that's why we are in bad situation. Okay, Mataji, so should I read another verse? Or do we have any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna,
what is the reason why is Vanaprastha not recommended in Kali Yuga? And do we have any references, like anywhere it is mentioned, Prabhu? Like does any Vedas, Upanishads or something, is there any reference to that? Or just Acharyas are mentioning that?
I think it is mentioned in, I don't know the literature, maybe in Manu Sanghita, I don't know. But I think once Jiva Mataji was giving some reference that there are, and I heard some verses from Vedas or from Vedic literature, we can say. Maybe from, yeah, it is mentioned that the sannyasa, and then there are other processes like if in a family a husband dies, then in other age they produce children by association with the younger brother of that lady's husband. that is not recommended either in Kali Yuga. So there are different processes, different actions, and sannyasa is not recommended. And I remember these two. But I
Sannyasa,
think
Prabhu?
what?
Sannyasa or Vanaprastha, Prabhu?
Sannyasa.
Okay.
And of course, Vanaprastha also. If sannyasa is prohibited because the situations are not favorable. So, where do you go? How do you earn money? How do you buy air ticket, right? Until unless, before Prabhupada established ISKCON, we don't see any society worldwide, right? So how everything is going to be managed? You see, in India, the situation is very bad. They are the sannyasis and all the godly persons, they were beaten by police, right?
Yeah.
So where do you go? Just to see police danda, to be hidden by police? It's all bad. We should raise our voice, but we are not raising. We are so dumb, right?
Right, Prabhu.
That yeah, after getting hit by police, you see the videos in Sapa government in UP. They were harassed, they were beaten. It's all unfortunate events. It's harassment of our Vedic system. But we don't wake up. That's the problem. Krishna says, "Ma manusmar juddhacha." That remember me and fight, right? We have to fight for dharma, right? This is different topic, but it's all related. See what happens what happened in Bangladesh, right? They burned the temple, they killed devotees, So we have to fight against that. There is no. We had discussion that we have to re-establish Varnashram system. We have to have some Kshatriya spirit devotees, that they can protect those Krishna's land, Krishna's temple, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Otherwise it's gonna be chaos. When we are not protected, then but we don't understand. Once we start understanding, we can start some efforts in that way. So we have to accept what Krishna says in complete. Whatever he said, we have to accept completely. He says, so in Mahabharata, I think it was one of the Krishna's devotee, he was doing a one-on-one fight, and then the other person was winning. Then Krishna said, "Hey, oh Arjun, shoot an arrow on him, because my devotee is getting defeated." So then Arjun said, "Prabhu, it's a Malla Juddha, it's one-on-one fight. How can I shoot arrow?" Then he said, "Oh, this is dharma. What I say, this is dharma, shoot an arrow." Then Arjun killed him. Then Krishna saved his devotee. So he says, whatever Krishna says is dharma. We have to accept in completeness. We have to accept everything what Krishna says. He says, "Mam anusmar juddhacha." Remember me and fight. So that's what we have to do. Not we, but we have to have some Kshatriya spirit people, and we have to preserve their spirit. We have to preserve their nature. That okay, yeah, you can become Kshatriya, and you can stay Kshatriya, and you can be a Kshatriya devotee. Go protect the temple, protect the devotees. In that way, this knowledge will be getting spread and preserved at least. Any question or comment, Prabhu?
Next time I'll come India with you, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm going maybe next week, Prabhu. You can come. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Any other comments or questions? So I think that's the key, that we don't listen. I heard from some Swamiji that why our children are not listening, because we don't listen to Krishna. Krishna is saying, sell, sell, sell. You know, natad bhasa te surjo na sasanko na pavaka jadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. He describes that there is no need of sun and moon in my kingdom, and whoever comes there, he will not have to come there here again in this miserable world. But we are trying to make our real home permanent home here. You know, we are buying duplex and triplex and, you know, separate home here. But we don't work for Krishna. We don't obey his orders. And that's the problem. Okay, Prabhuji.
I like your instant answer, Prabhuji, that you're going to India next week.
Yes, Mataji, my mother needs me because she is losing her
Okay.
memory. Yeah, she's losing her memory, and also she can't do most of the things on her own. So she's dependent on other person. Actually, I took her in Brindavan 2 weeks back on 20th of December. I made all arrangements to stay with my relatives, but something unexpected happened, and she's again back home. So when I go there, I will bring her again to Brindavan, our real home, at least in this material world.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing.
Yes, Mataji. Any other comments or questions?
You're doing ideal duty of the sun, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I need your blessings.
Uh,
Because sometimes we don't understand this. Yeah. Sometimes we are, you know, illusioned by, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. But no, nothing is important. We have to be Krishna conscious, and we have to make Krishna conscious whoever we have responsibility of. So once we do that, then we produce real devotees, or at least we help ourselves advance in this area.
Sundar Gopinath, you have also been a very good son and very inspiring. So you did your part too.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
have to do our part. Everyone has to do their part. Yes. Okay, Mataji, should I read another verse? I think it's related, so we can read, or we can have any questions or comments. We can discuss. Yeah, that verse I don't remember, but I will have that verse ready maybe next time, where it is prohibited those sannyasa and other process. But I think that was the reason. We can ask also Jiva Mataji. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas in order to in order to play a role to do his leela, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So he is doing leela. By his leela, by his example, he is showing how we have to be Krishna's devotee. So in that way, we can understand Krishna's order. Any other questions, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhu.
And for the scientific people, it's Prabhupada explains here very scientifically. And I always give example of, the proton spin crisis. The proton spin crisis, when we Google here in Wikipedia, proton spin crisis. Is everyone seeing my screen here? So this is the modern thing that it's here. A key question is how the nucleon's spin is distributed amongst its constituent particles. And components of protons spin are expected expectation values of individual sources of angular momentum. So we have been taught that this is the angular momentum that provides energy to the proton, that is spins, which is not correct. We don't see. For the last 40 years, scientists are trying to understand what is the basis of proton's spin. So proton is everywhere. Proton is here. Proton is in my tilak. Proton is in my hair. Proton is in air. Proton is everywhere, but proton is spinning like lattu, like spinning top all the time. So where do protons get energy from? And in Brahma Samhita, it is described, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusam Tamaham Bhajami. Brahmaji says that, O Govinda, you are in every atom as a proton, neutron, electron. So that's where the protons gets energy from. It's already described in Brahma Samhita before modern scientists discovered proton or an atom. The atom sabd, the Parmanu sabd came in Hindi. The translation of atom is Parmanu, and that word came in our Vedic literature in Brahma Samhita, the book that was brought from South India by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chapter 5 of Brahma Samhita. And that says, Andantarastha Paramalu Chantarastham Govindamadi Purusam Tamham Bhajami. O Govinda, you are situated in every Brahmanda, every universe as a Garbha Udak Sai Vishnu, and then as the Chira Udak Sai Vishnu, you are in every particle of this universe. And each universe. So Krishna is in every particle, in every atom, as a Chira Udak Sai Vishnu, and that is the source of protons spin. So scientists will find it after millions of years. Prabhupada says that we are studying Krishna's energy. Yes, Mataji, atom is Parmanu, molecule is Parmanu. No. So atom, we have to actually, so Parmanu is atom. Atom is Parmanu. Param, Anu, Parmanu. And then atom, the Anu is molecule. So molecule is, we call Anu and Parmanu. Parmanu is smaller than Anu. So first we have molecule, that is called Anu, and then we have Parmanu. It's all described by Kanad Rishi in Vedic civilization. But we lost all that literature, and we ran behind Rutherford, but our government didn't bother about that we already have the Kanad Samhita, So that's why our Durgati is here. We are in illusion. So we have to go back to our Vedic system to understand all that, and more importantly, to explain that whoever is in that situation, like we say, we are software engineer, I am Phalan, some kind of engineer, I'm some kind of doctor, I'm some kind of scientist. So, well, in a broader sense, Prabhupada might have translated Anu as an atom. But if we go precisely, Anu and Parmanu, these are two things, but it doesn't make a difference, because once we start exploring scientifically, then we can do this also, because Anu, we can say atom, and then Parmanu will be then in that case subatomic particles, because everything is there in Vedas. So whatever we were taught in modern education, Anu is molecule and Parmanu is atom. But when we say Parmanu as an atom, then we will have to go inside Parmanu, inside Anu to get Parmanu. So that will be the subatomic particle. If we have Vedic literature written and understood, at least read by some scholars, then we can describe that. But it is all in the Vedas, in Brahma Samhita there. And we are researching, we are spending millions and billions of dollars just to understand that. We're not going to understand that, in near future. Prabhupada says scientists will take millions and billions of years just to understand Krishna's energy. And then they will think, oh, whose energy is this? So where is the energetic person? Then they will start exploring about Krishna. Any other questions or comment? Because we are approaching to the time limit. We just have 1 minute. Thank you very much, everyone, for this interactive discussion today. And now let's offer obeisances to Prabhupada and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpataru vyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Alarnath Prabhu ki jai.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.